I don't know. You got to turn the mirror a little bit. Like I just had to think about it. Like, yeah, they got the Ramblin. Like that's very corny. And it's like, oh man, we got the same thing. I don't see really. There's not a whole lot. There's not much of a difference there.
Patty Mahomes, yes, please, Patty, MVP, Patty. I love you, Patty Mahomes.
That's great. Man, we all picked Mahomes. Yeah. Oh, nice. We all picked Mahomes. I love Patty too. I mean, fuck.
Well, it's the same. I'd let Dalvin cook. What else do I say? I like that.
Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Muffed Podcast. As always, my name is Boaz, and I'm joined by Lemire and Aaron. What's up, guys? Lemire, that's a
how you doing?
Hideous jersey.
Hey, dude, I was saving that for later, all right?
Okay. I didn't see that. Whoops. Sorry, cut that out. Wow. What's up, guys? Lemire, that's an interesting shirt you have there.
Yeah, thank you.
Ooh. I think you played it off good. All right. Solid intro as always. And with that being said, let's get into the episode. Every week we like to do our highlights of the week. Aaron, why don't you start us off? What is your highlight of the week?
My highlight of the week is not A's related, but is actually baseball related. I know, baseball related in whole. So Rob Manfred has announced that the universal DH will not be a thing in 2021. So basically, if you guys are unfamiliar, in 2020 they had, due to the COVID and all that stuff, it was a very weird season. They had a designated hitter in the AL and NL, which means in the NL, which normally does not have a designated hitter, the designated hitter would hit for the pitcher. And the AL usually has a designated hitter, but the NL doesn't. So I don't know why that is. It would just make more sense to have it from both sides. But he's announcing that they're not going through with it. That's interesting to me because, watching pitchers hit is not very entertaining. So to give you guys a comparison on what that's like, it's like watching a punter throw a football. It's exciting, but it's funny. Exciting. But if you keep seeing it over and over again. It's
if you see it 9 times a game, that's no fun.
Exactly. I disagree with you. Who's that Rams? Who's a Rams punter? That guy he used to play he used to be a quarterback.
Johnny Hecker.
Johnny Hecker. Yeah, he's. I watch him throw it.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so with the universal DH, the viewership of MLB was actually really up last year. It actually got better views than the NBA Finals.
You're welcome. And
nobody wanted to watch LeBrick.
Yeah, no one wanted to watch LeBron and the Lakers, but that's besides the point. But I feel like it'd just be more exciting for the game if they just have a DH on both sides instead of just having some pitcher who doesn't even practice, just come up there and swing at 3 pitches and then strike out every time. It just kind of kills the inning. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I think they should go with the universal DH, but Rob Manfred doesn't agree with that. So yeah.
I'm a big Rob Goatfred supporter. That's how I always call him. And whatever he says, I will firmly stand by that. And Rob Manfred, you're the real MVP in my eyes and in my heart. Put two of those together, it's a dub. All right, Lemire, what's your highlight of the week?
My highlight of the week actually just happened this morning, but the Juventus soccer team, sorry, I put that off really badly. Juventus played Barcelona in Champions League today in what might be Messi and Ronaldo's last meeting ever, head-to-head. And I think it doesn't matter who won. You can have your opinions. I think it's just
Messi's better.
It was really fun to watch. I think it was Juventus won 3-0. Ronaldo scored 2 goals. Messi did.
I mean, he's getting carried. That's just really the thing. It's a Mickey Mouse
an American guy scored in that game. Winston McKinney's American. He scored beautiful goals.
Wait, Lemire, was that an actual game or was it an exhibition game?
No, it's Champions League.
Oh, so wait, but
it's the premier tournament.
Oh, okay. But so if you lose, you get knocked out. Is it how? Is it
it's a group stage right now. It's like the World Cup of clubs.
Yeah, soccer. But this is what I'm saying. This is a Mickey Mouse type of Champions Club. So honestly, Messi just didn't want to participate. Somebody of his,
Ronaldo's won it 5 times.
Well, yeah, no, but this year's the Mickey Mouse one because of COVID and all that. Just the way the Lakers one doesn't count and all that, and the Dodgers doesn't count. So this wouldn't count either. So Messi was I'm just saving myself for next year when it actually counts. That's really what it's.
Messi lost last year. He lost 7-0 in a game.
Well, that's because he knew that in 2020. Well, that's because he knew in 2020 that there was going to be coronavirus. So he's I'm going to save my energy for 2021, where he's just going to kick everybody's ass. That's really what it is.
All right, man. All right, but yeah, it was just a beautiful moment to see 2 of the greatest of all time play.
Yeah, big up Aston Villa, Grealish gang. Let's go. Tyson Mings. Matty Cash.
I think it's Tyrone.
I keep calling him Tyson Mings. It's Tyrone Mings. It is Tyrone Mings. I'm not a real fan.
Tyson Tyrone.
I watch. And I mean, at least you made an attempt, man. I legit
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a FIFA franchise with him, and I'm 1-5. That's not important. But anyways,
I know there's one player, and his name is Pepe, but I like it just as his.
Oh,
it's Pepe.
Pepe's pretty good. He plays for Portugal.
Yeah, no, I just like his name, Pepe, and he just has one name too. It's like the craziest thing. Like I don't understand that in soccer.
Like Nene.
Yeah, that's exactly that's just one example that in basketball. But like he just got one name. It's just Pepe.
Yeah, there are a bunch of soccer guys like that.
That's sick. That's the coolest part.
What's your highlight, man?
My highlight of the week is Logan Paul. You know, Jake Paul was last week. We were talking about him and Nate Robinson. Logan Paul is fighting Floyd Mayweather. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, who would have thought? I saw Dana White was on a podcast and he was talking about like, oh, this is the future of fighting. Like, I don't know if I really like this all that much. Like, there's guys who like work their ass off in their whole career to get in a fight with somebody major. And then Logan Paul literally got his ass kicked by KSI, and now he's getting a fucking fight with one of the like the biggest probably boxer right now that like there is. Like, I mean, Mayweather is the biggest guy. Like, if you ask somebody who never watches boxing or just doesn't like really follow fighting in general, Mayweather is really the guy that you would know. He's kind of the staple of boxing and stuff like that. So that's pretty crazy. And there's also rumors of Jake Paul being with Conor McGregor, which like if that happens, the fucking Paul family, like the Paul family, like good for them, man. Like, because that's just impressive. I don't know what else to say. Okay, let's get into our interview. Millimeter sat down with Ramblin Fan, big 49ers guy, or not a big 49ers guy, big Rams guy. Misspoke there. Big Rams guy, not the biggest 49ers guy, but he was nice about it. We thought he was going to be big, like, fuck you, fuck the 49ers, fuck the 49ers, the fan base, fuck the 49ers franchise. He was a really nice guy about it. And it was a really cool
It's all in sport.
It was, yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, and check out this interview. We're joined by a very special guest today, Ramblin Fan. We got Brett here. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I mean, we got to get into, the reason how this all started, how this all came about is, I've checked, I was just looking through your tweets today, right before you came on. I was just looking at, I looked your name up, and then I looked 49ers as a tag just to see what you were saying. You got you got an interesting relationship with 49ers fans just in general. Do you want to, I don't know, do you want to give us a little bit of background, maybe explain your side of the story of how it goes between you and the Niners?
Sure. The 49ers have had a lot of success over the Rams. And but it's been sort of played a little bit, I think, emphatically, because when you pull out the Rams 49ers head-to-head competition, the Rams are 8-2 and the Niners are 3-7. So, I think it's a little bit of emphasis about the wrong end game that we're looking at here. The Rams are looking for a playoff spot, and the 49ers have a good team. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of respect for the 49ers, but between COVID and injuries, this just isn't going to be the year. So, it's all fun in sport. I think next year the 49ers are going to be a very dangerous team, but this just wasn't the year for it. So, hey.
You're being real nice about it, to be honest. I thought you were going to come on and you're going to, throw all sorts of shade at the Niners fans. You're being very nice about it.
I get it. It's tough. The Rams went through that last year, and there is nothing more heartbreaking than going into a game with two hands tied behind your back, and you're basically forced to try to bite their kneecaps off. And I got to give it to the Niners this year. That's how most of the games have gone. You've had no Garoppolo, no Kittle. You've had
Sherman's been out for a while too.
A number of your receivers have been out, and yet you're still putting up a fight. You're still showing up. Nobody's, except for the occasional trolling that goes on. Nobody's been saying anything about we're injured. Take it easy on us. You guys are spitting fire the whole way. So a lot of respect, not a whole lot of love, but a lot to
I got to give it the Rams fans.
I would say that's mutual, yeah. The Ramley. I got a little bit of love towards the Ramley. I know you guys got a little bit of hate the moment I don't think I've never heard that before. Because, we have our own corny nickname, the Niner, the Faithful. I guess you got to kind of.
Better than the Ramley, man.
I don't know. You got to turn the mirror a little bit. Like, I just had to think about it. Like, yeah, they got the Ramley. Like, that's very corny. And it's like, oh, man, we got the same thing. I don't see really. There's not a whole lot. There's not much of a difference there.
No, but, let's be real. For the past two seasons, the NFC West has been the representative to the NFC Championship. And, I don't see that changing anytime soon. Now, it could be the Rams or Seattle this year. But, I see the Saints. Everybody's saying, fear the Saints, fear the Packers. but I don't see the Packers being that, rough and tough, team that can get there. And as far as the Saints, they're rough and tough, but Drew Brees, 11 ribs broken. Come on, he's going to be feeling that all the way through next year. So, I think it's the NFC West again. And
I think you're right. Yeah.
Next year.
Hey, we could all agree that we don't like the 12 here. Rambley's all right. Faithful's all right. 12's no, we don't mess with that.
Seattle for sure. I mean, I'm definitely hoping that the Rams do get win the division. If I'm gonna go for any other team, I went for the Rams in 2018 when they went to the Super Bowl. That was a year that I was actually. But that's just more because I don't like the Patriots. But I was like, screw it, I'll go for the Rams. They're a fun team to watch. That was, the Rams have always been a fun team.
Game were anti-Patriots fans. I don't think that there were a whole lot of, let's see Belichick win this one after cheating, after Deflategate. I mean, let's all rally around Belichick and Brady. I wasn't seeing that. So,
the Rams, and the one thing I think being a Niners fan, it's kind of easy as well to root a little bit for the Rams just because they're very similar. And especially now we're all seeing these similarities with they got these two coaches. They're just super young, like some of the youngest coaches in the NFL right now. Both offensive geniuses in their own right and stuff like that. Both, and I think there's also a similarity with, I was going to go with Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo. I think there's also a little bit there. They're both kind of guys that might be a little bit limiting to their situation, but I just see these two teams being very similar, especially with the Rams being built with a defense and the Niners doing that last year as well.
Yeah. I think that in some ways, I think the Rams are a year ahead of the 49ers. And in other ways, I think the 49ers are a year ahead of the Rams. But I think you're spot on. I think it's really hard because we're almost doppelgangers of one another. I mean, let's face it, the Rams are going with a running back by committee that the 49ers perfected a year ago.
Yeah.
So, and so there's a lot of similarities between the way our two teams are constructed, the way the philosophy is being put to the field. So I think that's probably part of the rivalry is that, hey, you bastard, that was our play. Hey, you bastard, that was our idea. It'll really get bad if, from what I've seen, a lot of the 49ers fans are looking to sort of poach John Johnson, our safety, next year. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
He is very popular in the Bay.
Defense. Yeah, if you get him, that rivalry is just up to a completely different level. And
I think that's been a thing.
Sherman.
Tremaine Johnson, I remember a few years ago when he was just leaving the Rams. I remember that there were some Niners fans who wanted him as well. So that was there's always been kind of this thing like let's steal from the teams around us. Let's make the rest of the teams worse. Let's get us better. Yeah, but I'm starting the same thing with the Rams as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of good reasons for that because not only does it help your team, but it also kind of screws with your rival. Now they got to replace them. So you can check some of my articles. There were a lot of times when I was out there putting on free agents that the Rams should make a play for a free agent who was becoming available just to screw with Seattle, the 49ers, or the Cardinals. Because, the reality is if you guys had gotten Jamal Adams, I think it's a completely different season with or without all of your injuries. I just think that your defense is that good that if you had that one more player, you'd be unstoppable. So, yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
I can't say the same, but I mean, when Jalen Ramsey, the same thing, there was rumors about maybe him coming to Niners as well. And then he went to the Rams and you're like, fuck, man, the Rams are just getting better. But yeah, I don't know. It goes both ways, right? Because you guys have struggled with your cap space. And I feel like John Lynch has almost kind of been, he's been a little bit conservative in that sort of thing. He doesn't like he makes like one big blockbuster trade. And then, D Ford hasn't really worked out that well, but it's just, that's one thing I'd be like, I'm a little bit envious, Les Snead, just how he makes some bad decisions where he just, trades a little too much away, but he's not afraid to, say, screw it, I'm going to trade away all my draft picks. Yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger and get a guy.
No, and the thing that I like about Les Snead that is very frustrating, but then you got to see what he does at sort of like the bottom end. Where he really does his magic is our like undrafted free agents. We picked up Darius Williams off the waiver wire for the Ravens. He's a top cornerback. We just picked up Justin Hollins, an outside linebacker, off the waiver wire from the Broncos this year. He's got 3 sacks for us. So I think it's almost as though in order to make true magic, I think you have to paint them into the corner of, okay, you got no cap space. Now what are you going to do? And make them make it happen with almost impossible odds. because I think that Lynch is a genius. I really do. I just think that he is playing it too close to the vest, plays a little too conservative. Maybe that's the way everybody likes it, but I'm tickled to death that we went and got Ramsey, though everybody said you overpaid. Doesn't look like an overpay today. It really doesn't to me.
No, he's been good, yeah.
and expensive, but yeah, he's shutting down people. He's just shutting them down, and that makes it fun to watch a defense.
I think Ramsey in that regard is super special because the Niners, they struggle whenever we play like an elite wide receiver. Stephon Diggs, let's say Julio Jones last year, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf. We don't have that one corner that can just blanket that receiver for the entire day. But we have a good cornerback committee. It's a committee that Sherman has lost a step, so he can't really like lock him down. He's not a true
Tyreek Hill in the Super Bowl. Yeah, if we're going to talk about it.
Sherman was really elite against the Rams, and then I saw him play against the Bills, and boy, they made him look like he was old. I don't mean that with any disrespect, but a few of the plays that I'm talking about where the receiver came out, did a double move, and Sherman's going the one way and not even following the receiver on the second move. So, I think that he's great in zone, but whenever you go to that press man, I don't think he has it anymore.
I think you're right. And there's something to say about the Niners when they play against the Rams. They're just, that's a different team. It's just, it almost seems like you watch the Niners against the Rams and the Niners against the Bills, and it's two different teams. It's not the same.
Yeah. Well, you guys bring your A game, and we know you're coming with your A game. And so we somehow bring our D or E game. I'm not sure. But it's somewhere below passing. I know that.
I think Niners, ever since the Rams moved to LA, I think the rivalry's been like real hot. It's been fun to watch because when they were in St. Louis, I personally wouldn't even care. I was like, it's just another team, right? It didn't feel like a division rival because it was halfway across the country. But now you got them on the same coast, right down. LA, San Francisco have a rivalry going.
I mean, there's also the SoCal and NorCal, that type of rivalry as well. That's always going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and
it's just fun. Yeah.
It's probably before your time, but there was a time back when it was the old LA Rams. That rivalry was very hot and heavy. I mean,
from what I heard,
the Rams dominated the 49ers, and then suddenly Bill Walsh showed up, Joe Montana showed up, and they had a whole lot of payback to give, and they did. And so, there were, if you go back to the sort of like the legendary, leather helmets, gladiator mentality football, rivalries really formed because they went out to hurt one another. I mean, it wasn't just let's play a game, shake hands, and no injuries. When they tackle, they try to cripple you. I mean, there was an old school quarterback tackling where you went for the knees. I mean, you grabbed anything you could. You tried to twist them up, alligator roll. It was all legal too. And I think that was those close city rivalries were born back then in the day of that gladiator mentality where quarterbacks were throwing with bloody faces, receivers, were catching with one hand because the other one was broken on the side of their body. So, there's a lot of fun and history going on.
I mean, that's what makes football fun, to be honest. And I think that's what makes the NFC West one of the better divisions, just because you got these like intense rivalries, especially now with Seattle. That's always going to be Niners in Seattle. That's for sure always going to be a thing. And then especially with the Rams. And I think that's just, it makes football watching way more fun. It makes just the whole season way more fun having. And like, we started off with a conversation of you and your beef and with the Niners Twitter community and stuff like that. But I think that's what makes football fun, right? I think we got into kind of a wholesome area where it's like, yes, we're going to dig at each other, but I think we kind of at the end of the day, we kind of enjoy it. We get to stay back and be like, I like the Rams. I can admire them. I think you can say the same thing about the Niners. I can say the same thing about the Seahawks and the Cardinals as well. But yeah,
take a look at the end of the day, and the NFC West, all the teams are 2-2 against one another. Isn't that amazing? We can talk about the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams, but at the end of the day, they've all split it right down the middle on 8 games played. So, I don't know if it'll end up that way. I certainly hope that the Rams get a little more wins in the division than that. But it does speak well to the parity that's going on within the division. It speaks well to the fact that we're kicking ass everywhere else, and that the majority of our losses are happening within the division. And, I think that the West, because they are such a young core of coaching staffs, young core players, I think that we've got a lot of good football left in us.
And the things you never know what's going to happen every year. I think you wouldn't know. I think the year the Rams they made it to Super Bowl. Nobody really thought that the Rams. I mean, people thought the Rams were going to take a step, but nobody thought they were going to be that good. And then the same thing with the Niners in 19 was like people thought the Niners were going to take a step, but nobody thought they were going to be that good. And it's just every year almost. You don't really know who's going to be in first place. Yeah, you don't know who's going to come out. But yeah, I mean, that's enough of us. It's enough of us just being nice to each other. I think we got to get into we got to get a little more divisive here. Let's talk about, the playoffs are coming up in a few weeks. Let's talk about we like to do some hot takes. Lemeter's the king of that. Lemeter just loves throwing out some hot takes. That's kind of his thing.
Okay.
But I think we individually let's throw out one playoff hot take. And then, the rest of us would be like, hey, am I buying into that? Is that a good take? Or am I going to say, that's kind of, we like to say it's a crack take, or it's, that's kind of a bad take. Like, I don't know where you're coming in. Like, that's, you're just trying to make some controversy out of nothing. Lemeter, since you're the king of that, do you want to go first? You want to just show us how it's done?
All right. I live for these, personally speaking, but I do live for these. I love giving out hot takes.
I set you up well. Yeah.
Thank you. And most of them hit. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them don't. We don't talk about those. We only talk about the good ones.
Andrew Luck is still retired.
That never happened. Anyways, so my playoff hot take for the year of 2020 is that I won't go Homer-ish. I won't go Niners somehow make a run. I'm not saying that, even though I believe that. I'm going to say the Bills are going to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. Not the Chiefs, not the Steelers, not the Ravens, or not the Browns, not the Titans. It's going to be the Bills. Josh Allen is going to continue his freakishly hot streak and just take the Bills to the playoffs or Super Bowl.
I mean, it's going to be interesting what happens this week because they play the Steelers and the Bills play this week. So I think maybe your take becomes a little bit more, I would say there's a little more credibility to it if the Bills somehow get a win this week. But we saw the Bills against the Titans. We saw the Bills against the Chiefs. I'm sorry, man. I can buy into them being like a kind of a contender and them being kind of good, making a little bit of noise. But I don't know about the AFC representative just yet. What do you think, Brett?
I'm going to go with you as well. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. He's phenomenal. But I think that the problem that I have is I think that the Bills have to get their feet wet first. It's sort of like, training wheels, tricycle training wheels, bike. And as far as the playoffs, they've gone to the playoffs, but they haven't won yet. So I think that Allen has to have that first taste of success because winning the second game is so much harder than the first game in a playoff. In my mind, because
for sure, yeah,
you get a short week, you don't have all that preparation, you have all the hype. I mean, as soon as the Bills win one, everybody's going to say, "Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl." Yeah, and I just think that it's awfully hard to maintain that humble, hungry hippo kind of mentality that gets you to the next round. So I think that the Bills will win one, but getting past veteran savvy teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't see it yet. Next year.
I think so. Yeah, I think we're on the same page here. All right, Brett, let's hear yours. What's your playoff hot take?
I think that the Rams run the table. I think that they are the NFC Super Bowl representative. I won't say we win it, but I think if we run the table and we get to 12-4, even if they're on the road, I think that they're going all the way.
Okay, Lemeter, what do you think? You can say your reactions first, Lemeter.
All right, I don't think this is outlandish particularly. I think the Rams are the second best team in the NFC, and I am wearing a Packers jersey right now, and I have been hyping up Aaron Rodgers for this entire season. I think Aaron Rodgers finally gets his payback and goes to the Super Bowl. I think the Rams will be close. They'll keep it tight. I think they match up very well against all the teams in the playoffs because the Niners aren't there. But but I think they're just going to be just short.
This kind of also plays into my hot take that I'll say right after here. But I'm going to say the same thing. I think the Rams are kind of good. I just also think that the Rams very much are dependent on Jared Goff. And I've been, Lemeter calls me a little bit of a Jared Goff hater, but I think he's very similar to Jimmy Garoppolo, where if everything is going well, the offense is clicking, the offensive line is clicking, he'll play fine. He'll play fine with the lead. Sean McVay is undefeated when they're a 14-point lead going into the second half and all that. If they're winning a game and there's just no adversity, I think Jared Goff will play, phenomenal. But the moment that a little bit, there's a little wrench in the game plan, something goes wrong, there's a fumble or something like that, or he throws an interception, all of a sudden you start to see Jared Goff, it starts to pile on. And that's what I'm really worried about. So that's where I'm going to go with. I'm not, I love the defense. The Rams defense is fantastic. I'm not so sold on the offense, and specifically just because of Jared Goff. And that's why I can't be on board. But I'm more on board on this one that I would say that the Bills making it to the Super Bowl, though. I'll say that.
All right.
Okay.
You don't just hate Jared Goff. You call him Jared Trough.
Yeah, no, Jared Trough. That's my nickname. Yeah, Jared Trough. He pisses his pants. When he needs to make a play, he kind of pisses his pants. And
hey, the Tampa Bay game was fine. Right? I'm a Goff believer. That's the one guy from the Rams I really like.
That's okay.
I'll tell you one thing. I've done a lot of articles. I don't know if you guys follow me at all, but I put a lot of articles out this week that compared Goff to legends like Peyton Manning, like Brett Favre. And I will tell you that as far as where Goff is on his 5th year, remember, it's just his 5th year in the NFL, he's doing tremendously better than either Peyton Manning or Brett Favre. Not just on, the whole accuracy thing. He's throwing more touchdowns, throwing fewer interceptions. He's got everything going in the right direction. The problem with it is that Goff came out, and his 2nd year, he was at the Super Bowl 13-3. Where do you go from there? Except, the only thing you can do after you get to that level, and Garoppolo's going to face the same thing, is now you got to beat the Super Bowl. You got to win it. Anything else is a letdown. And there's the problem. Every NFL elite quarterback struggled. But if you get too hot too fast, everybody's like, hey, what the hell happened to you? You suck. You were this good. Now you suck. I don't think it's that at all. I think it takes about 10 years for an NFL quarterback to reach that true elite phase because you've seen it all, you've experienced it all, and you've had it all. Then you start to put together 40 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 5,000 yards passing. Then it all starts to click. I think the Goff, Garoppolo, and any number. Look at who's the Arizona quarterback, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, yeah.
Everybody says he's great, and I think he has the potential to be great too. But he's only 15-20, in terms of record. His touchdown and pass interceptions ratio is 1-to-1 or something. He's got all the tools, but I think that we are just so rapid fire with you either are really great or oh wow, you suck in one game, that we don't have the patience that it takes to watch these guys truly develop.
I think that's true, but I think that's also a little bit to the era of like football that we're playing right now. Like when you see guys coming out of college, there's this year in the draft there could be 5 guys coming out. It's just there's the amount of quarterbacks that have hit recently. It just feels like it gets easier to find your franchise quarterback or your superstar quarterback than it has been even like 10 years ago. That's just my whole thing that I think with the 49ers that I've pretty much this year been advocating that I think we should go get a quarterback. Is just because I think I know what we have with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm not going to say exactly, I'm not going to say that the Rams should get rid of Goff right now. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think that Jared Goff is a lot of times the Rams are winning, and I'm not necessarily sure that's because of Jared Goff. I think that's more to do with Sean McVay and his play calling, and before it was more to do with Todd Gurley. He was having MVP numbers that year, the 13-3 year.
Isn't it always? When you think about great quarterbacks, and I'm going back a few years, but when you talk about great quarterbacks like Fran Tarkenton, he always had a running back behind him. What the NFL used to do with NFL quarterbacks is they put a quarterback in there, and then anything that happened wrong with the offense, it was another player. If the guy was getting too many sacks and too many interceptions because the offensive line sucks, they fix the offensive line. If the receivers weren't catching the ball, they'd go out and get a good receiver. Now, instead of looking to build around that franchise quarterback, they get a guy, they pay him money, and they say, okay, now make it work. And I don't think that they have taken enough effort, and I'm going to talk to the Rams specifically. They put a lot of players around Goff, but when you talk about those games where Goff goes meltdown mode, I'm telling you, every damn Rams fan is sitting behind the television saying, please run the damn ball, because their running game can put up yards. It's not just on the quarterback, but for whatever the hell reason it is, Sonny McVay goes into 50 to 60 passes a game mode, and that puts a lot of pressure on a guy who's trying to get his arms around the game to begin with. Troy Aikman, when he had Emmitt Smith, if he was having a bad game and he had a few, they just start handing the ball off to Smith and off he go. The Rams aren't doing that. And I think a lot of NFL quarterbacks today aren't doing that. They have converted to this completely pass mentality that the running game is so much a second or third option. They just don't go there. And so I think that there's just not a lot of patience to let quarterbacks sort of get control of their offense.
No, I get what you're saying. And I think that you're right. So a little bit that it's just a different era that we're trying to pass the ball more. And I think every team is just trying to find they're trying to find their Mahomes or their Josh Allen or their, their franchise or their Russell Wilson, whatever you want to say. And I think just the teams are so willing to just get rid of the guy and say, let's screw it. Instead of developing him, let's just wait it out a little bit. I think they just, let's scratch it, cut this guy, get our next guy, and hope he works out. And we just keep throwing darts at the wall. I think you're right. To some extent, there's guys that should have been kept and they should have maybe gotten more opportunities than they did. And they didn't just because of this whole era and stuff like that. But I think that's just how the NFL just progressing to this new, like we see the same thing with running backs now. Like running backs are just so expendable nowadays where you can almost every 4 years, you just draft a new running back and you're going to be putting up 1,000-yard numbers and stuff like that.
Or not even draft them. Just wait until the draft is over and sign a couple and then put them in there and see what happens. A lot of teams have devalued the running back so far that they won't even draft one until day 3, which, I mean, there used to be a time when the first pick you chose was running back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think a big reason why these quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, take a lot of stick is they're not dynamic playmakers outside of their passing ability at times. If you look at Kyler Murray, he's a great quarterback, but he has similar growing pains. But why does he get so much credit? Because athleticism, he can make plays out of the pocket, and people watch that and they're like, wow, look, he can do that. Can Jimmy Garoppolo, can Jared Goff do that? I don't think they can, but I think they're more solid passing wise at times. And I think sometimes they should get some credit. I think they don't get enough credit at times.
Yeah, no, I think we're all on the same kind of page. That is just it's just this new mentality. Honestly, I think we saw it first with Russell Wilson. Everyone, I think that's this like cliche term gets always thrown around. It's a copycat league where one thing happens and all of a sudden you see all these teams trying to do the same exact thing. I think this is the new wave where it's like, you build everything around and then you try to get your franchise quarterback, and then it's like your quarterback's supposed to be in year 1 he's supposed to be already good. We saw that with Dak Prescott where in year 1 he was like really good, and all of a sudden people are like maybe Dallas should go a different direction, and now they kind of swing it back. But it's just this weird kind of thought process where it's very much like you gotta be good like right away, or else you're already labeled a bust and stuff like that.
So here, since we're on the quarterback topic, I don't want to direct the flow, but Carson Wentz is going to be benched for Jalen Hurts, which is, here was the guy who was drafted in 2016. By all accounts, he is the franchise quarterback for the Eagles. He's going to get benched. Some people say it's a great move. Some people say it's a temporary Band-Aid to give him I don't really know the answer, because I will tell you something. They signed him to a guaranteed contract. They're not getting the money back.
Crazy, yeah.
And in my mind, they threw him out there. His offensive line broke down. They didn't change many of the play calls to get him sort of moving around in the pocket. And they don't have an offensive coordinator. And one of the things that I'm really pissed off at the NFL about is putting a quarterback into an offense without an offensive coordinator. Is almost like saying, pack the trunk while you're driving 60 miles an hour down the highway. There is stuff flying at these guys every week. New changes to the offense, new changes by defense. Without an offensive coordinator to sort of, redirect, reframe, give them a second set of eyes, tell them what to focus on, these guys are just being tossed to the wolves. And I think it's a shame. I think we're asking too much of the quarterbacks today.
I think so too.
Casualty.
I think also offensive line, there's a lot of quarterbacks. I think we just saw Joe Burrow where he kind of got thrown in there. And I think there's a lot that can be blamed on just him not having an offensive line, the team just not investing. Andrew Luck, we saw he retired just because the Indianapolis Colts pretty much always just refused to invest in the offensive line. Yeah. Really the only quarterback we've seen that where the team just completely ignores the offensive line is Russell Wilson, where he's had success and the team, just the organization in general has ignored, upgrading the offensive line.
Yeah. So but he's really smart in that he does move around in the pocket and he never gets hurt. If you ever watch the games that he plays, except for those occasional sacks that he gets crushed in the pocket, when he's running outside of the pocket, he slides long before any defender ever gets near him. He's a really smart quarterback. I think that he is hard to find. I don't think that there will be another one like him. But he didn't get the help from the Seahawks. He's doing all that on his own
himself. Yeah.
Sort of wisdom. Yeah. I mean, he's taking care of his own body in a really nice way. So.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we went on a whole rant here, but that's a very interesting conversation which is like how like football has evolved throughout the years and stuff like that. But let's get into my hot take for the playoffs, and this one I think might be the hottest out of all the ones that you guys have said so far. And I've been big on the Washington football team for a while now. I think the Washington football team is going to make the playoffs, and then they're also going to win the first game as well. And this is where it gets a little bit bad, man, because, I don't want to dig at you that bad, but so I was kind of going through the ESPN playoff machine where you can kind of, you can see which teams are going to get seeded and stuff like that. And when I was playing around with it, you kind of see that, let me check this right now. So the 5th seed was usually going to whoever loses in week 16. I believe the Rams and the Seahawks play that week. So whoever loses that game usually gets the 5th seed in what I was looking at. And then the team that wins that gets a 3rd seed. So the team that gets the 5th seed obviously will be playing the Washington football team. I'm hoping that it's the Seattle Seahawks because I actually think that the Washington football team can really beat the Seattle Seahawks. We just saw with the Giants what they did with the defensive line. When you just have a defensive line that gets to the quarterback, you can beat the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Washington football team has the defense to do that. I'm not going to say they're making a Super Bowl. I'm not making anything like that. I'm just going to say they're going to win one game because I think no one's expecting the NFC East to do anything in the playoffs. They're just going to get in and they're going to be a horrible team and, get out, lose by 3 scores immediately. I think they're going to win one game. I don't know if it's going to be against the Rams or the Seattle Seahawks, but I think whatever team's going to be in the 5th seed, I think the Seattle Seahawks has a much better chance. With the Rams, I also think a little bit with what I was saying with Jared Goff, that I think if you can shake him up with the D-line, I think you can get him into kind of a bad game. And you said it yourself that sometimes Sean McVay is really bad at, like, when Jared Goff needs to, he needs to just start running the ball. He needs to get a little confidence by doing something else. He's just going to keep making him throw and, make his confidence go even lower. So that's how I think the Washington football team will win one game. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say. That's going to be my hot take. What do you guys think?
Who wants this one?
That's just, I'll tell you this. So, we're going to do the Drew Lock picks a little bit later. One of the first Drew Lock picks I ever made was the Washington football team against the Baltimore Ravens. And in the first quarter, they were already down 3 scores. So that just goes to show you, I've been big in the football team. It hasn't really loved me much back, but I like the football team a lot.
Well, I'm going to shoot some holes in your theories there in 2 fronts. First of all, Washington really doesn't have the inside track on the playoffs to begin with. I think Giants beat them twice. So if all things are even right now, the Giants would be the representative, which would take that completely out of the picture.
I'm hoping Colt McCoy is going to be a little bit bad. I'm hoping Colt McCoy is not going to be the Colt McCoy that was playing against the Seahawks. I'm hoping he's going to, be the Colt McCoy we've seen before, and the Giants lose out, and then the football team gets in.
Sure.
Yes, there's a little bit of a caveat there. You're right.
But I'll also say that the more that either the Giants or Washington wins, the less likely that is. And I'll tell you why I say that. Right now, both teams are 5-7. If they get to 8-8 or 9-7, they lose that they suck sort of stigma. If they get to at least even football, then they'll at least start to be taken seriously. And that means that when teams prepare to go to the East Coast from the West Coast, they're going to have that, hey, they can beat us in the back of their minds. If they're 5 and if they're
so
like 6,
I can tell you what I have them right here looking through so I did the ESPN as their whatever playoff machine. So I was just playing around with it a little bit before we got on. I had the Washington football team finishing at 7-9 and the Giants at 6-10. So the Washington football team got in at 7-9.
Okay, so if they're 7-9, then it's sort of like the Saints going against the Seahawks that one year. You have a 7-9 team. Nobody thinks that you have any hope of success.
What happened there?
Yeah, you've got a time zone difference of 3 hours, and you're playing on the East Coast. So, I mean, all the advantage, except for the team records, is going to be on the East Coast team in that scenario. But here's where I don't think that will be. I don't think that they can win with 7-9. I think that's because it's the Giants in Washington. I think it's going to have to be at least an 8-8 team. So one of those 2 teams is going to have to be 8-8. In order to take and that will eliminate it. Also, I think that if it is the Seahawks, I think that you lose the advantage if they have sort of like plowed through them easily before. I think there's that. But Washington, who did they beat? They just beat the Seahawks? No.
Washington just beat the Steelers.
They just beat the Steelers. So, I mean, people have been put on notice that this is a pretty good team. And in order for them to get to that 8-8, they're going to have to be a pretty damn hot team to get there. None of the NFC East teams are going to impress anybody if they suddenly go on 4-game losing streaks. Then it is what it is. But in order for a team to get to that sort of playoff caliber, they're going to be winning. I don't think that they're going to be taken for granted. So
okay, this is my Cinderella story. This is my Cinderella story. I'm gonna stick with it.
Everybody has to have a fairy tale to believe in, you know.
Exactly. All right, Lemire, come on, man. You can come aboard here.
I know you've been holding on to this take since like week one.
I have been.
I know you have. This is your dream take, but I'm gonna disagree with it. I think they could beat the Seahawks, honestly, too. I don't think they make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a big believer in the Giants. My Drew Lock pick may or may not reflect that, but yeah, I'm a big believer in the Giants.
All right, well then, I mean, that's a good segue. Let's get into our Drew Lock picks. Every week we like to pick an underdog matchup based off Vegas odds and stuff like that. Brett, why don't you start us off since you're the guest? What is your Drew Lock team?
Well, I won't lie. I had a little bit of difficulty understanding the CBS odds because they have sort of like a look, a lean, and then a final. But if I understood things correctly, the one I want is I really like the New York Giants as a 2.5-point underdog to the Cardinals. And I'll give you 3 reasons. One, they just had an incredible win against the Seahawks. So everybody's going to say, yeah, but they don't have another one of those in them. 2, they're going to be playing against the Arizona Cardinals, who just lost, and nobody's going to believe that the Cardinals will lose again. But when you step back, Giants are hot, Cards are not, and it's in the Giants' home turf. That's a true setup for an underdog that I love. I think that I would give away 1 point and still take the Giants on that one. I think that's even money. I think that one goes either way. I really like the way the Giants are playing for Joe Judge. Love their linebackers, and I think that will give the Cardinals fit.
They have a good D line too. That their pressure that they bring. We saw that with Seattle. They're good against the run and stuff like that, which does bode well against Kyler Murray. They also showed. I was a little bit worried about them with mobile quarterbacks, but they showed against Russell Wilson, who's he's pretty mobile as well. Yeah,
and what a great warm-up. If you're going to face Kyler Murray, wouldn't you love to have a game with Russell Wilson where you you've got all that I'm running around the field mentality and energy all pumped up in you. And I just like this setup.
You're right. No, and you're right that they're cold. The Cardinals are as cold as you can possibly get because if that Bills game where it was kind of fluky where they got the Hail Murray, if it wasn't for that, I think they're like on a 6-game losing streak. So the Cardinals are pretty cold. They have been losing a lot, which is why I'm going to buy low in them. I like that, I think they're as low as you can possibly get. And there's only one way, the Cardinals can go up, and that's up. And I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm sorry, man. Brett, you come on, you're a guest, and I just feel like I've been treating you very badly. I've been picking very
no.
against.
I like the Discord. The thing that I don't know that I like about going with the Cards at all is that the Patriots. The Rams, for some part of the Bills, they have the sort of the defense template now. Contain. The middle guys throw up their arms. Kyler Murray's a little guy. You can frustrate the hell out of him if you get your hands up over the middle and just keep him in the pocket long enough. And all they have is DeAndre Hopkins as a
which
real
they don't throw
sort of a threat.
What baffles me the most is that Cliff Kingsbury just stops throwing to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with Ramsey, Ramsey's a shutdown. That's one of the things I said when Hopkins first came to the Cardinals. Deshaun Watson was throwing to Hopkins and was playing, making that a game of it. But is Kyler Murray at Deshaun Watson's passing level? And I don't think he is. All of those, throw all that DeAndre Hopkins stuff from yesteryears out the window because now you've got Kyler Murray, who is going to be a mobile, get out of the pocket, sort of like a mini Russell Wilson. Hasn't quite got his running legs under him on that front. But I don't think DeAndre Hopkins was a natural fit for this year. Down the road, they'll have a training camp. They'll have, a year under their belts. They'll sort of fill each other out. But I didn't really like that marriage made in heaven that everybody talked about this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, and I've been Cliff Kingsbury. Some of the last few weeks, he's just been baffling. I don't know what he's doing. There's just some play calls where they have not made a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, they have a team where they have some weapons, and it just seems like sometimes that offense just can't move. And it's that's the part that's crazy to me, is just when you look at that team on paper, they should be, they should be moving the ball fairly easily. And there's teams with far less, and they're doing a lot more. And I'm going to stick it out with the Cardinals, and I've been sticking out with them for a while as well too. But if they lose this week, I think I might be off the Cardinals as well. I mean, I think if they lose this week, they're out of the playoffs for sure. I think their hopes of making it at the 7th seed is out of the window.
I think they could still win out after that and make it through, but
it's going to be close. I haven't
worked out. I was looking at playoffs odds yesterday for a bunch of time. I've been doing my research.
Every 49ers, and the ESPN, the whole playoff predictor machine, like every 49ers.
Yeah, I don't believe that. It's BS. Right, all right, it's BS. But Brett, speaking to your point, I'm gonna be the good cop. Boaz is the bad cop. I'm gonna say I agree with you on here, on this particular take, because the Cardinals, I used to be a big Cliff Kingsbury guy when he got hired, but he is not a good coach. He relies on individual brilliance rather than game planning. He relies on Kyler doing magic, D-Hop doing magic, his running backs doing magic. The team is not well coached. Joe Judge is actually coaching the Giants pretty well. I think he should be a sleeper candidate for Coach of the Year if the Giants make some noise. And I think that as a 49ers fan, I'm a little biased here because if the Cardinals lose, it ups our chances that much more. But I really like the Giants on this one because the Cardinals have no pass rush. How are they going to rattle either Daniel Jones or Colt McCoy? They have zero pass rush, and I think that bodes really well. Gallman's
I don't think you need to rattle. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine. That's a guy who, if you need a turnover, that's a quarterback who'd give it to you.
You're hating on him, man. He's better.
The hot take, I'll give another one. Maybe Colt McCoy's a little better. Colt McCoy, maybe.
Get out. No.
All right, no. I'm just trying to. That's just me trying to. That's my best Stephen A. impression. That's what I'm trying to do there. All right, Lemeter, let's hear what's your Drew Lock pick. I think it might be the same. Right? Is that what you're hinting at?
No, I was actually debating between two, and this just made my job easier. The other one I was looking at, where to go? Where did my CBS page go? All right, let me pull it up. Give me a second. This is Muffed Podcast journalism, everybody.
You're real prepared.
Right here. I got it. Okay. My Drew Lock pick of the week is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, man,
over
you're really going to do that.
Indianapolis Colts. The Raiders, I think they're 2.5-point dogs. I think the game's at Indy, if I'm not wrong. But anyways, I think the Raiders have been in a funk right now. Everybody thought they'd lose to the Jets. They barely won. They scraped by. I think this is their statement win after the Kansas City one. They want to stay ahead of the race right now, and I think, the Raiders take it.
That's a bold one. That's a bold one. Let me ponder that one. That's in Indy, and this is the same Indianapolis
right now.
Just lost to the Titans, right?
Oh, yep. Lemeter is correction.
Well, they got a bunch of their defensive starters signed.
Lemeter, it's in Las Vegas.
Is it in Las
Vegas? I just, yeah.
Oh, it's in Las Vegas. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
God.
So
Vegas is a home dog.
Yes, yeah.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll go. Yeah, would you like to go? Yeah, go ahead.
I can buy it. I can buy it. I mean, if it's in Vegas, the Titans just beat the Colts, and they got a good scare out of the Jets. I could see Vegas winning this one because, in all honesty, the Colts are going to come in saying, "Yeah, we've got this," because they almost just lost to the Jets. I think that there's a lot of teams that are going to be jockeying for that playoff position right now. This is one of those very underestimated games that will have so much playoff implications. It's not even funny. Whoever comes out of this definitely has a tiebreaker in any playoff calculation. You got to go with the home team when it's that much. I take that one. I think that you may have a winner.
No, you're right about it. Usually you're right. You would take that. And you're right about this. I think the Ravens, the Colts and the Raiders and the Dolphins maybe as well. They're all kind of vying for that. Like they could be kicked out of the playoffs or they could get in. And this is an important matchup. You're right about it. That's for sure. Oh man, because I've been riding the Colts for a while as well. This is Lemeter just picking these teams that I've been riding for a while now. I have been riding the Colts for a while now, and the Las Vegas Raiders, they hit a little bit home. They left the Bay Area. Lemeter even said that Oakland, that hurt a little bit. The Oakland Traders. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just be a downer. This. I'm taking the Colts. I can't. This is a little bit emotional. I'm taking the Colts.
I know who's Drew Lock pick. I'm not supporting this week.
We have usually when we record, we have three of us. Our other co-host, he used to be a Raiders fan. When the Raiders moved, he said, "Screw it, I'm becoming a 49ers fan. I'm done. I don't want to root for the Raiders anymore." If he was here, I know he would be definitely on my side because we've been together, big Raiders haters this whole year. Yeah, I'm sticking with the Colts. Emotionally,
he doesn't even watch Raiders game out of sadness. That's how sad he gets.
He does get sad, watching Raiders games.
Just toss this out here because I want to make sure that you're in full 360 awareness of what you're accepting by taking on the Colts. You are saying that Phillip Rivers is your quarterback this weekend.
Phillip Rivers,
with a straight face. So you are either intoxicated or you lost it somewhere about 15 minutes in the previous segment.
I'll show you why this is super emotional for me. DeForest Buckner was one of my favorite 49ers players. He was a guy when the Niners had nobody. He was one of their few good players. He's in the Colts now. I like the Colts a lot. Their defense is something I can definitely buy into. Phillip Rivers is definitely that's going to be that's really the factor. This is what I'm banking on is can Phillip Rivers just play a decent game. He doesn't even need to play really that good. It doesn't have to be doesn't have to be some Hall of Fame level game because Phillip Rivers,
he is a Hall of Famer.
He is, but at this moment he's not playing at a Hall of Fame level. This is Phillip Rivers is 1 foot out the door. He's the retirement's getting closer. I'm gonna stick with him. I like the Colts. I think the Colts can make some noise. I also think the Colts can make the playoffs. I'm not completely down on that as well. Although that against Houston, that game went like way closer than I thought it would. I thought the Colts were going to blow them out, and they got just really lucky with Deshaun Watson fumbling at the goal line. I think if it wasn't for that, I think the Texans might have won that game too. I'm sticking with the Colts. I'm not changing my pick. I'm sorry, you guys can't convince me. I'm sticking with the Colts. And I know you guys. I have a feeling I'm going to be by myself on my Drew Lock pick as well. I'll be taking the New England Patriots Thursday Night Football. I'm taking the New England Patriots as well. I'm buying into what the New England Patriots are selling. I'm buying in on what the New England Patriots.
This is hate.
I'm buying in on what the New England Patriots are selling. I already told you.
You have vitriol.
You've heard my Jared Goff. Jared Trough. I mean that last week I picked the Cardinals. That's just to let you know.
I'm sure you did. I have no doubt. I can guarantee you probably picked the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys against.
No, I picked the Dolphins that one game, and I was so happy. That was my defining win when I picked the Dolphins against the Rams, and they were like in the first half, and they were just destroying the Rams.
That was also your first Drew Lock pick you got.
That was the first one I ever got. Yeah, for the Dolphins against the Rams. I'm going to call me an idiot for taking that one. So I'm gonna, you know what? I actually like that. I want you guys to say that I'm dumb. I want you to say that this was, I got a little bit loopy. The weather's getting a little cold for Californians here. Maybe I'm not all here yet. I'm taking the Patriots. I'm buying what they're selling. I think they can, if they win out, I think they can make this. I think they can still make the playoffs. I like Bill Belichick a lot. I think Cam Newton is kind of getting back a little bit of a swagger. That's what I'm going to say. And taking the Patriots.
Me? You want to go first? I've been first before.
All right, I'll go first.
You guys know how right I am.
Not at all. No, this is not how it goes. No. The 49ers and the Rams are built very similarly. Cam won't do anything. He'll be a non-factor.
Well, that was COVID brain. That was COVID brain Cam Newton. You gotta separate them. That was COVID brain Cam Newton. This is regular Cam Newton.
All right, but it doesn't matter. Cam's washed at this point. I was a big believer going into the season. I like Cam Newton as his whole career. I was a big fan. This year is not it for him. That the New England defense is good. They're not that good though. The Rams could definitely run the ball on them like the Niners did. Jeff Wilson had 130 yards on them. Akers would have a field day. And if I was still in my fantasy playoffs, I'd start him, but I got kicked out. So I lost in the must-win game. But anyways, no.
Performance enhancement drugs? Is that why you got kicked out?
No, I just lost
he had a must
win. Must win. Austin Eckler let me down.
Gotcha. I'll tell you something. If the Patriots had not just won against the Chargers by a score of 45-0,
I would not be taking this.
Fear me. But because the Patriots did, I have absolutely no fear going into the Patriots game, and I'll tell you why. Patriots did everything they possibly could have done to win a game to defeat the Chargers 45-0. Now it's all on film, all of their special teams gadgetry, it's all out there. all their defensive, the shutout. It's all there for the Rams to dissect and re-engineer to get ways to defeat them. If it had been a loss to the Chargers, I would be pretty much on your side right now. I would say, yeah, the Patriots look like a team that can win, but after a 45-0 blowout, no way. And I
disagree because if they lost last week, I mean, their playoff chances were pretty much they're over. Their playoff chances are very slim. They're very much in the Niners, like where they just need to win out. So I feel like this is where I see them. Last week's win is going to propel them and get them a little motivated for this week because
child, please. Here's why. First of all, this is not Bill Belichick's Super Bowl team. Let's focus on the record here. This is 6-6. That defense is pretty good. That offense has a little bit of an odor to it. It's not that good. And the reason being is that when you take a look at the hard breakdown, you've got an offense that has 8 touchdowns through the air. They've got like 19 touchdowns on the ground, and 11 of them are Cam Newton running the ball into the end zone. So you stop Cam, you stop the Patriots offense. That's it.
I agree. Yes.
That's the playbook. And I will tell you that exactly what the Rams did against Kyler Murray, who I think is a smaller and faster version of Cam Newton, I think that they are going to be very well prepared to contain and harass Cam Newton in this one. The Patriots do not have a number one receiver. Which means in some cases that maybe Jalen Ramsey will not be as effective. But now they're going to put him as a joker. They're going to put him all over the field. And Cam Newton's going to be a little confused because wherever he wants to throw the ball, Ramsey's going to be there. The only way in my mind that the Patriots have a snowball's chance in hell of this one, and this is not the unanimous, this is a snowball's chance in hell, is the fact that I think that if the Patriots have a good special teams game, and if they win turnovers by 2 or more.
I was thinking that they can play a clean game. The Rams have turnovers.
And the Rams turn over the ball 2 or more times, and they get a touchdown or at least get good field position out of the special teams, the Rams can lose it. But from what I saw, they put up on the field against the Chargers, if the Rams cannot defend that, they deserve to lose the game. As simple as that.
That's true. I'm seeing an LA sweep. That's what I'm just going to say. I'm seeing an LA sweep. And the one thing that concerns me, and I'm going to say that nothing that you just said concerned me. The one thing that concerned me is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick was at UCLA talking to Chip Kelly. And as a 49ers fan, if Chip Kelly gave him any advice, they're screwed. The Patriots are screwed. I don't want him taking any advice from Chip Kelly, especially nothing on the offensive end. And I think the Patriots can win this. I'll tag you on Twitter if this happens. If this doesn't happen, the Rams blow them out. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna
you can tag him right back. That'd be great.
I'm gonna be as quiet as possible. I'm not gonna talk about this ever again. I might even cut this out. If you in the future. But in the event that the Patriots do win, I mean this is I might clip this. This is gonna be fantastic. But.
It's not happening, but
Lemire, I think you guys switched roles today. Lemire, you and I switched roles because you're being very, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna make the logical moves.
I actually think this stuff, man. I don't have outlandish football takes. That's all.
You do. No, I mean you do have outlandish football takes. I'm gonna be very emotional this week, and I think it's gonna work out. I think it's gonna work out. I'm very confident in it. But I mean, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I think this was a fun episode. We started off very nicely, and I think towards the end we got very, very decisive. It's very divisive.
Talking football, It's always good when we're talking football. It is,
yes. Yeah.
I will say that one of the things that I have discovered about 49ers fans is that if the 49ers win a game, every fan from the 49ers is on social media looking to tell everybody who was on the opposing team all about it. That's the one thing I will give you guys. You are like, I don't know if you ever played, World of Warcraft with the Zerg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
49ers fans Zerg you. They will just keep coming at you in waves until you concede and fall apart.
I'm guilty of this. I do this all the time. If
I promise, I'm on
Twitter.
I promise you this. If the Patriots win, I'm going to be so far out there. I'm going to be coming out of that hole. this is going to be my 49ers Super Bowl. Like this is going to Jimmy. The feeling I'm going to get if the Patriots win this week is going to be almost equal to if Jimmy Garoppolo connected with Emmanuel Sanders. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I will tell you that the Rams need this win, and they need it in so many different reasons psychologically. If they get beaten again, I will tell you that they don't have a chance in the playoffs. I'll be very honest. I think that they have to beat Belichick in order for them to get to the next level. And no matter what he's putting on the field, he could put midgets. He could put six-year-olds on the field. They've got to beat a Belichick team. That's just the way I see it.
Okay. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for coming on. This was fun. We'll make sure to put all your links into our description of this video. If you're listening as an audio podcast, we'll put that as well in the description. But yeah, do you have anything else that you want to shout out?
I just want to say thank you both very much. I think I think the NFC West is one of the best divisions in football. I love the camaraderie. I never have a problem with healthy rivalries. I draw the line where it gets to that personal attack where people start to call you, personal names and things. But I think that it's all good sport. The 49ers have a good tradition, and you have every right, if you support the team, to be proud of that tradition. Hell, you guys are the NFC West representatives from a year ago, and until somebody else is, you still are the NFC.
I think what you're trying to tell me is that we're hoping that the season gets canceled. There's still a few more weeks that the season can get canceled. You can just keep that.
There's always the miracle. I always subscribe to the theory that in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Until that NFC Championship game is played and somebody wins it, the 49ers are the defending NFC champs. So, congratulations for that. But when we win it, I want you to be equally as gracious.
I'm sure that you guys will, and I'm going to be looking forward to next year's, 2021 when Nick Bosa's back. That Rams Niners game, I'm looking forward to it already. I know that's far away, but I'm looking forward to it. So I've heard some Indianapolis Colts talk. And we threw Carson Wentz's name out there. If Wentz is on the bench for the rest of the year, do you think the Colts make a trip play? I've been saying I think Frank Reich is the only one who can revive his career.
Yeah,
he's the only
one
who can revive his career.
For Carson Wentz.
Come to San Francisco, Carson.
Oh no! Please do not, Carson. That's literally Jimmy Garoppolo. We're in the same situation.
I actually have seen that too. I've seen some people want Carson Wentz on the 49ers.
Matt Stafford, maybe. I can subscribe to that one. Maybe we draft the guy. Carson Wentz I don't see him being that much of an improvement over Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
A change in zip code could be wonders. And in all honesty, I think that Wentz is a good quarterback. I really do think that he's solid. I just think that right now their offense has been, if you take a look at their history, every year they've got 2 or 3 key linemen out. This isn't one season. This is like 3 or 4 seasons, and they just expect Wentz to make up the difference. And I think when you get riddled by a pass rush over and over that never stops, I think that his brain got rattled a little bit, and he's just a little bit on the case of the yips right now. So, and it's understandable in my mind. I just think he needs a different scenario, a different philosophy. We're going to take care of you, and then see what happens then. Philly did not.
I think you're right. I think there's definitely a mental aspect, and I think there's a whole lot of quarterbacks that are like that. But yeah, I think this was a good episode. Thank you so much for coming on, and make sure to put your links. Please check them out. Doesn't matter if you're a Niners fan. Doesn't matter if you're Seahawks, Cardinals. Doesn't matter what team fan you are. I really like you. You're a smart guy.
It's interesting content. I've actually read a couple articles. Yeah.
All right.
Great. Thank you. And let me know whenever this comes out. Send me a link so that I can, push your content.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. All right. That was good. That was a good
great interview. Wow. For some reason, I don't remember it at all. I don't know why.
Yeah, Aaron, you just came out of nowhere. Like I don't know where you went. You were here and then the interview, and then now you're back. I don't know, man. I just get really scared in uncomfortable situations. So I just didn't. Rams fans, but he was a nice guy. Rams fans, I get it. But he's a nice guy. He was a nice guy. He didn't like my Drew Lock pick, but that's neither here or there. But
what was your Drew Lock pick? I didn't get to hear it.
You want to hear it? Let's go over it. Aaron, you haven't had a chance to say yours either. Lemire picked. He picked. Brett picked the Giants against the Cardinals, which I disagree with. I picked the Cardinals. I disagree with that.
I went with it.
Lemire went with it. Lemire, you went with the Las Vegas Traders over the Colts. I disagree with that as well because, I'm a big Colts guy. I picked the Colts. And then I went with the New England Patriots over the Rams. He did not like that very much, being a Rams fan. And Lemire disagreed with me as well just because he's a hater. So, yeah, that's what happened.
All right,
Aaron, what's your Drew Lock pick? Before we get into Aaron's Drew Lock pick, let me real quick just recap all of our scores. We haven't actually done this in a while, but let's recap the scores. I went 7-8. Aaron went 8-7. And Lemire, I think this might be the first week Lemire actually had the best record out of the three of us. Congratulations, Lemire. 9-6. 9-6 for Lemire. But the total record is 126, 69-1 for me, 119-74-1 for Aaron, and 107-85 and 1 for Lemire.
Double digits, baby.
That's true. Yep. I got 69 losses. So, nice. Just wanted to say nice. All right. Drew Lock pick.
All right. Well, I have a team that has been playing very good recently against a team that has been kind of playing okay recently, but they have not been living up to their standards. I think Lemire might like this one. I am taking the dog pound Baker Goatfield over the Baltimore Ravens. That is my Drew Lock pick this week.
Wait, that's crazy to do. The Browns are favored too. Or the Browns are underdogs.
Yeah, the Browns are underdogs.
Yeah, I think they're a 2.5-point dog.
How? That's fucking crazy.
Or one of the lines was, unless the line shifted. That's what I last saw.
Oh shit! So they're even right now currently, but the projected -2.5 Baltimore. That's fucking crazy. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess sure we'll let Aaron. That's fucking crazy. That's a crazy line.
Dog pound.
Oh man, this is a game that's must win for both teams, kind of, because the Browns need to win this if they want to get in the playoffs. And
Browns only have 3 losses. They could afford 2 losses more.
That's true, but I think just a momentum type of thing. Like they need to beat this type of team, and then the Ravens really need to win it. So the Ravens have any chance of making the playoffs, they really need to go on a run right now. And I'm gonna go with you. I like the Browns. I'm gonna stick with the Browns. I think I went against them for far too long. I'm gonna go with the Browns. Lemire.
You pick the Ravens. Like there's something wrong with you.
No, I'm going with the Browns. Yes, sir.
He's not. Right. He hates Lamar. Lemire would never in his life pick the Ravens. Like
I know. Just for people watching this, when I said there's something wrong with him, I just said he always goes against the Ravens, and if now he's going against the Ravens, he's just switching up. But, hey, he's going Browns.
I picked Dallas over the Ravens. Oh, speaking of which, I got the football team game correct.
Yeah, but you've got like so many other ones wrong. You pick like the Bengals over the Ravens like 1 week too. Like that's like you have so many shitty ones. I mean, it's still a loss. Like you got so many shitty ones where like you hit one, you can't all of a sudden just be like, oh man, I'm fucking amazing. I'm the goat of picking. You're last place, Just gotta point that out. But I want to do something. We got to revive something because we haven't done this in a while. The pick. I didn't even tell you guys we're gonna do this real quick. We just got to do this real quick. We got to revive the pick. Okay. This is a game that I've been looking forward to since pretty much a few weeks ago. I talked about this. I believe the Chargers are playing the Falcons this week, and this is an important game. These are 2 teams in the fourth quarter that are just gonna fucking like that. That's when it comes down to it. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like the first 3 quarters, I don't know what's gonna happen either. But that fourth quarter, legit anything. That's like that one game. That fourth quarter will be like a witching hour by itself, just because like the lead will change so many fucking times because neither team can hold it. So I think it's only right to do the pick, bring it back. It's been really shitty lately, but we got to bring it out of retirement, Aaron, just for this one occasion. And Aaron, you usually do it. Brain 1.00. You pick the sides.
Brain is the Chargers.
Okay, so that means 1.00 will be the Falcons, the Dirty Birds. All right, we flipped it. We're going with the Chargers. Brain is the pick. We're going with the Chargers. Chargers over the Falcons. I'm not confident about that, to be honest. I'm not feeling good about that.
I'm going ATL. The pick is dead. It's deceased. It's in the ground. It's over with. It's been disproven. I'm going Falcons, baby.
Okay.
Dirty Birds.
Same.
Oh, Lemire's a pick hater. We've already kind of Lemire pick hater. And you know what, Aaron? I understand why you've lost. You've lost confidence in the pick. I have too. That's why it's been retired the last 2 weeks. I'm going with the pick. I can't go against pick taking the Chargers.
I gotta go with it.
Herbert can't play any worse than he did, last week. So that's I guess that's one good thing about it. But let's get into our last segment for this episode. We're gonna do our 3/4 awards. I mean, that's kind of weird to say, but we've done our half the midseason awards. We did our quarter season awards. We're doing 3/4 season awards now. Let's start off with the MVP.
Let's do MVP last. Let's go
MVP last because I feel like that honestly is not that one's not even that interesting anymore because I feel like we've come to a consensus.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a certain jersey.
Wait, but that, I mean,
Okay.
All right, come on.
Why would he even be in the running for that? Why would he even be in the running for that? Okay, that's fine. Offensive player of the year. Let's start off with that. Aaron, has your pick changed in any way?
It has changed. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure this is who I did not pick last time. I honestly don't remember who I picked for this one last time, if I'm being honest. But, Buzz.
I think you picked Dalvin Cook. I think you picked Dalvin.
Okay, well, that's the same. I'd let Dalvin Cook. Cook. What else do I say? I like that.
I'm doubling down on that. I'm taking Dalvin Cook as well. I'm switching from Kamara. Kamara's been with Taysom Hill in the lineup. Kamara just isn't putting up the same receiving numbers that he was with Drew Brees. And as much as I love Kamara and I love the Saints Who Dat Nation, I'm going with Dalvin Cook. Lameter.
I'm flipping it from Dalvin to Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams has 13 touchdowns, 102.9 receiving, 102.9 receiving yards a game. He's been downright dominant. He's been, amazing.
That's what I got to say. DK's better.
Right.
Not good. All right. Let's get into defensive player of the year. I'll go with that. I'm sticking. I picked Aaron Donald. I believe I started with Myles Garrett, then I went to Aaron Donald. I will be sticking with Aaron Donald. I believe full-heartedly that if you take off Aaron Donald from the Los Angeles Rams, they would be a bad football team. He just is that much of an impact. And Aaron Donald is my pick. Aaron.
All right. Well,
I'm
going with someone. I would not be going with someone who has a really cool name, such as Aaron. I was going to make fun of Aaron Donald, say he has two first names, but my player also has two first names. That is Myles Garrett. I'm going with Myles Garrett. I mean, his sack numbers are ridiculous. I mean, he's just out there balling. He's terrorizing opposing O-lines. I mean, the Browns.
I see what you did there. Terrorizing. I see what you did there. Playing whack-a-mole. Hey, no. He's a new man. He's a changed man.
He's a new man.
He does his poetry. He does his poetry. Calms down and studies dinosaurs.
Calms him down. Yeah. But yeah, he's balling. I'm going with Myles Garrett. I have faith, and I'm part of the dog pound.
Yeah. All right, Lameter.
I'm going with TJ Watt. He has the most sacks in the league, and he has a pick, which the other two guys don't. So, booyah.
Okay, that's not bad. I'd rather, I like the Steelers a little bit better than I like the Crackers at least. Let's get into the rookies. Offensive rookie of the year. Lameter, start us off. Have you changed that?
I was a Justin Herbert guy, and I was almost on the Justin Jefferson train, but I'm gonna go to Justin Jefferson. Yeah. He's been historic for a rookie year. He's only 450 yards off most receiving yards, and I think he can get it for a rookie.
I mean, I disagree. I think Justin Herbert's he's also I don't disagree with that being because that's a fact. He's on a historic pace. Justin Herbert's on a historic pace too. He's going to beat the touchdown record that Baker Mayfield's put. And he's also going to be, exactly. I was going to say he might beat the yardage one as well. And it's just one bad game. I'm not going to, the Patriots game, Bill Belichick is historically good against rookies and stuff like that, so I'm not going to put that one that much against him. I'll be going with Justin Herbert. Aaron.
All right, well, I've been Justin Jefferson, I believe, every single time we've done this, and I'm sticking with it. Justin Jefferson, he's balling. Look at him. Look at that man.
He is, yeah.
He's balling. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, no. There's no hate. I mean, that's a good pick, but I just think quarterbacks, usually outweighs in that type of.
You know what? We're ending the quarterback bias today. We love our position players, man.
Yes,
we love them.
Quentin Nelson for offensive player of the year.
I'm saying, Quentin Nelson. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, Mekhi Becton, taking him my fucking offensive rookie of the year. Fuck it, Mekhi Becton.
Actually, I think Jedrick Wills has been better.
Yeah, no, but I like his name better. I like Mekhi Becton better. It just sounds cool. Defensive rookie of the year. I will be going with Chase Young, the Predator. I've been kind of flip-flopping. I think I took Patrick Queen last time, and I took Chase Young in the beginning. Chase Young isn't putting up the stats tonight. If you put him numbers, he's not. But you see him when you watch him play that he contributes to that. We saw against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he contributed to a fourth down stop and stuff like that. It's just the team wouldn't be the same. And we saw that when he was a little bit injured and stuff like that. The defensive line wasn't anywhere as good as they are playing right now. And a big reason to why the Washington football team could potentially go on a run would be Chase Young, the Predator. Aaron.
If this is the Rookie of the Year award, it has been chased down for Chase Young. I agree with everything you said. He's not putting up the numbers. With Joey Burrow out now out of the running, I think this is Chase Young's award.
You mean wait, Aaron? Who's that? Who's that?
Wait, that linebacker.
Oh shit! Fuck, he's the linebacker. Yeah, no, I was thinking of. I don't know why, but I for some reason thought he might have been a quarterback.
Wait, hold on.
But that's Ryan Finley.
No, Ryan Finley's a quarterback. Come on. I can't believe we got Ryan Finley and Joe Burrow mixed up.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I got him mixed up. I don't know. All right, Lameter.
All right, I'm currently looking at the list, and I'm looking at who the best rookie NFL safety is. It's not Antoine Winfield Jr. It is not Jeremy Chin. It is actually Julian Blackman, and he is my favorite for the defensive rookie of the year.
I know that's how you do it. Horseshoes. I don't know how you
Yeah.
do it.
He has how many picks? 2 picks, 6 pass deflections, a forced fumble, 0 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. Ooh.
You don't have to bring up the 0 sacks.
Dude, yeah, Mr. PFF here. All right. Let's get into Lemire wanted to add this award, and I think this is a good award too to add. We haven't talked about it last couple times. Comeback Player of the Year. This is like an award that's usually only really in the NFL. I don't think the NBA has that.
Should have went to Jimmy Garoppolo last
baseball
year.
Have that? I don't think baseball has it.
Does
either.
baseball have it? If it does, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Lemire, who's your Comeback Player of the Year?
Jimmy Garoppolo for last year. No, just kidding. Alex Smith, without a
Jimmy
doubt.
Garoppolo for hooking up the Niners with giving an elite quarterback like you think Mullins. So that's what I'm going.
Without a doubt, Alex Smith, though. It's tremendous what he's done to get back on the field. I respect him a lot.
All right, yeah, no, fuck that. I'm going with Big Ben. Nobody's bigger than Ben. He put out a whole YouTube documentary about how his elbow was so fucked, man. Like, that was just so touching. And Big Ben, every play, every drive, he goes on the sideline and he always gets injured somehow. He's always holding his knee or something. And he got COVID one time just because he didn't want to practice and stuff like that. Then he got off the COVID list. Then he wanted to get back on the COVID list. It's just the craziest thing. Big Ben really just, goes through adversity, takes it, one step at a time. And if Big Ben could honestly just wear a walking boot on, if he could put cleats onto a walking boot, I bet Big Ben would, and he would play with them. And that's why, nobody's bigger than Ben. And I'll be going with Alex Smith. Yeah, that's the end of that. Aaron, go ahead.
All right, my comeback player of the year is Antonio Brown. No, I'm just kidding. Cut that out. That was a joke.
Fucking go. Yeah. Let's fucking go. That's what I'm switching mine to. Fucking AB.
All right. No. Okay. Can you? Aaron, what's your comeback player of the year?
Aaron, what's your comeback player? Oh, yeah.
My comeback player of the year is Alex Smith. Fuck. Okay, well, it's Alex Smith. I mean, like, what he's gone through, it's amazing. Like, his journey back. Like, I didn't even know how. Like, I knew how he almost died, but I did not know the bone was outside of his leg and his flesh was rotting. I was like, oh my god. Like, when I heard about that, like, oh jeez. And just for him, like, I wouldn't even care if he threw 37 interceptions this year. Like, I wouldn't have cared. I still would have given it to him just for even making it back onto the field. But now he's actually playing good. So it just gives me more of an excuse to put his name down here. So there's that.
They should honestly name the award the Alex Smith Award.
For Big Ben. Oh. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Alex Smith too. Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to just talk about injuries in general, I mean, I don't know how, if you talk injuries, Big Ben, I mean, it's almost synonymous.
All right, if Alex Smith gets robbed, it's going to be as big of a robbery as Jimmy Garoppolo. Ryan Tannehill robbed Jimmy Garoppolo last year.
No, that makes sense because, because Ryan Tannehill really went through a lot if you think about it. I mean, Adam Gase.
He went through Adam Gase.
Yeah, like that's, ugh. I mean, that's hard, yeah.
Just saying that makes me shiver.
I mean, honestly, you know what, I'm gonna throw out a new name. I'm gonna throw out who's the receiver on the Panthers? Robbie Anderson. I'll be taking, Robbie Anderson used to play in the Jets. Adam Gase coach Jets. He just, he left there and now he's playing pretty good. So I will be actually switching on my pick. I will be going with comeback player of the year, Robbie Anderson. Thank you, Aaron. All right, let's get into our MVP. That this is a very, I don't think this is that hard. I'm switching it. I've been going Russ for a while now. And it's just one guy who's undeniably the greatest quarterback of all time. The strongest arm in the league. The best State Farm commercials. Patrick Mahomes, puts ketchup on a steak. Is there anything else I got to say? That's really his only downside is that he put ketchup on a steak. That's really it. That's the only thing that I can say that's bad about Patrick Mahomes. Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I have to say I am a patsexual, and I sure hope it's mutual. But
me too.
I've had Mahomes since I think the first time we did this, I've had Mahomes. I think no, I must have had Russell. I must have had Russell. Oh, really?
Yeah, you did have Russell the first time, and then you switched to Mahomes. Yeah, for a mid-season.
Because I feel like because Mahomes just the interception numbers aren't there, and Russell Wilson, he's kind of declined a little bit. I mean, not like his overall play, but just this year, he's kind of gone down the recent weeks. Mahomes, this guy's been sticking to it. So I got Patty.
All right, like Boaz said, I have the greatest quarterback of all time, the strongest arm in the league.
Don't do it.
Whoa, wait, what the fuck? Wait, why is Lemire away?
The best State Farm commercials. Mr. Discount Double Check.
Patrick
Aaron
Mahomes?
Rodgers. Woo.
Yo, real quick, let's cut this part out, Aaron. Let's cut this part out. I'm just gonna dub it over. Wait, Aaron, bring that back the robot. Bring back the Seattle Seahawks when he gets hacked.
I mean, you have to turn off his video.
Yeah, Lemire, say it again. Wait, we didn't hear you, Lemire. Can you say
Mr. Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron, go. Aaron, this is your chance. Aaron, you have to go. Aaron, go.
Fuck, I was on mute. Patrick Mahomes. I pick Patrick Mahomes. I love Patty. Patty Mahomes. Yes. Yes, please, Patty. MVP Patty. I love you, Patty Mahomes. Oh,
There you
that's
go.
great.
Oh, man.
We all pick Mahomes.
Yeah. Oh, nice. We all pick Mahomes. I love Patty too. I mean, fuck. I don't know what else to say. I don't know why I keep pointing at that, that gross green cracker jersey, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes is one of my favorite. But I see you wearing the red hoodie for Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. I see that red hoodie, so I respect that. I see that. I catch what you're putting down, Lamito. I see what you're putting down. So yeah, I mean that's our 3/4 season. That's such a weird name to say. 3/4 season, 75% season.
If it works, it works. Let's go.
Yeah, it does. 3/4, 75%. I don't know however you want to say it. Season awards. And yeah, this is our episode. So a fun one. Thanks so much to Ramblin Fan for coming on. This was a fun episode. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
A's 2021 World Series champions. I called it now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you have all been waiting for. We're gonna announce who won the giveaway. Which if you didn't do, kind of on you. Yeah, you kind of fucked up there. But there's going to be some very cool prizes. First place, second place will get their choice of either a Chad Johnson signed jersey or a Frank Gore signed jersey. And we even added in a third place winner will get a mystery item that, if you get it, put it on Instagram and Twitter, show it off to everybody because I think it's still pretty cool. Maybe not as cool as the first and second place, though. So without further ado, let's get into it, Lamiter. We already did the spinning. We already did kind of the drawing and all that. So everybody who entered, thank you so much. But let's get into it.
Thank you for participating. We love you.
We do love you. Who got third place?
All right. This is a Twitter user, and the @ is ZLOLDJ. So I'm assuming. Wait, let's see. It's Zachy Lloyd, I think. Yeah. Hopefully I pronounced the name right. If not, my bad.
Congrats to Zachy. No, I mean he gets a cool gift, so it's all good. It works out. If you fucked up his name. It works out. It works out. But let's get into the more interesting one. Our second place winner, who will get the other gift. So the first place we get to choose between Chad Johnson or Frank Gore.
Ocho Cinco.
Or Frankie G. Frankie G, Frank the Tank. I don't know how you want to say it. Yeah. Second place.
Inconvenient truth.
Yeah. The second place will get whoever the first place didn't want. So, it's still pretty cool. All right. Second place. I'll be saying who that is. Drum roll. @ page_Dax on Instagram. I believe his name was Daxton. I think that's what it is. So
Congratulations, Daxton.
Yeah, @ page_Dax on Instagram. Congrats, man. I don't know what jersey you're going to get, but going to be cool regardless. But now, this is really the moment of truth. We've been saying what you've been waiting for. The past 2 weeks have all culminated. We did a pick'em contest. We did it on Instagram. We did it on Twitter. Who actually won it? Everyone tried to enter. A lot of people tried to enter, but who actually won it? Instagram user @ Mike Adams 42. Congratulations. And this guy, I think, went into got second or third place in our pick'em contest too. So yeah.
Congrats, Mike.
Dude. Congrats, dude. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, we're gonna see what jersey you want. But congrats @ Mike Adams. Yeah, if you see this, everybody who just won, please DM us and we will get back to you and we'll, get your shipping information. We'll try to ship it out to you as fast as possible. But yeah, thank you guys so much for entering this giveaway. It was a lot of fun. We did a whole pick'em contest and we kind of flip-flopped and we did just a traditional type of giveaway. It was still fun. We love you guys. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Thank you guys for supporting us. And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.